Look, making children and having children is our responsibility.
Yes.
Because God gave us dominion of the earth.
Hello everybody, I welcome you to our talk show today. With me in the house is Thelma. We have an exciting topic that we'd like to share with you. We're just gonna talk about it and let's see what Thelma's view and what are also my view about early marriages. So stay tuned as we talk about this. Welcome Thelma.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Great. I'm also happy to see you.
Thank you.
What a privilege. What a privilege.
Privilege indeed, isn't
Wow.
it?
Yes. All right. So, talk to me, Thelma. What do you think is the cause of early marriages?
Well, as I understand it, early marriages is where children marry, well, at least young children, female children marry adult men, right? And as I understand it also, especially in cultural terms, these girls don't particularly have a choice in whether they get married at such a young age, but it's typically their parents that gets them to get married to an adult guy, maybe for monetary or financial reasons. See, it might even be that perhaps a female child got raped by an adult man and then got impregnated, and according to some cultures, it might be that because she has conceived a child by this man, though not consensually, she might be forced to be in marriage with him.
That's profound, eh? Wow.
It's a little bit sad to think about.
It is. It's just like really one who feels so deeply sentimental about this. It's just like so touching. Like, do you think also that poverty is also one of the leading causes of early marriages?
Could be. It's the first example that I made, that parents would, especially in African cultures, a female, her parents or her family, stand to gain financial or, let's call it financial input by the prospective husband, whether that be in the form of livestock or money or whatever. And so it might be that if they are really suffering from poverty, that they would go as far as to let their female children get married at a very young age in order to sustain their life.
Wow. So do you think, I'm sure it is actually sometimes, as we've seen it, like traditionally, parents will be, because of poverty, parents, they will be forced to push their children, their girl children into marriage because of the border, so that they can also receive the border. I think is also one of the leading cause of early marriages, just to receive the border. How do you look at it? But some cultures do pay the border, but what about those cultures who don't pay the borders? But let's now focus on people who pay the borders.
How I feel about it?
Yeah.
How I feel about it is mostly based on a Christian principle from the Bible. And look, a child becomes accountable to God by the time that he has understanding, or a good understanding of what is wrong and right. Okay. As far as I know, the Bible is not clear on when a child has become an adult, right? However, there is it is known that a child becomes accountable to God by the time he or she reaches full understanding within their head, in their minds, about what's wrong and right. Okay? They can discern between wrong and right.
Exactly.
So that's actually a very difficult decision to, opinion to make based on biblical principle.
Anyway, so while you're there, let's just talk about, now of course we've talked about what really causes the early marriages. Now let's talk about the consequences. What?
So if a child, I believe that if a child hasn't reached a level of full maturity where they've made a choice and a decision to step into marriage, even at an early age, I do think it can become very damaging, especially to a female child, because that would involve intimacy between her and the man. And, you know, if you're too young to understand, if a girl is too young to understand what is happening to her body, and a man is entering her body, and, you know, she's conceiving children at a very young age, then emotionally it might become very damaging to her, because it's now like she doesn't have control over her body anymore.
Exactly.
You understand? Like her body is not hers. And no one, it might be that people, they don't say it as much, but
in future.
But you know, in essence, it comes down to that, and it lies in their subconscious that their body doesn't belong to them. You know, and if their body doesn't belong to them, I think that in future, if this girl, when she is a woman, if she and her husband goes through a period of poverty as well, then it might be that she would even go out to be a prostitute.
So that, which actually leads as well to generation. That means it's going to be generational early marriages, because that girl child there got married, and she's also deep into poverty. So she's going definitely to, the kids, our children are going to inherit the same poverty.
She might go as far as to sell her.
Yeah, so
I mean, if subconsciously her body doesn't belong to her, then there's no problem.
And also the girls like this girl child who actually gets married so early. Usually they lack skills, okay, and obviously because they did not finish their school, they usually they don't have enough, because they don't have a job, they can't work, they drop out from school, so most of the times they can't even use, they're not skilled, okay? Let's just talk about the common skill, any skill they can, because they cannot be able to do any skill. So this...
Because they're taken from school when they enter into the marriages.
All they know is just like making babies. So it's really very sad, it's really very sad in our society. So look, okay, let's talk, there's quite a lot of what are the damages, which is the most profound one is that this poverty that is from those children getting married earlier, it's being transferred into the new generation, and so the cycle goes on and on and on. But anyway, what do you think are the solutions? Let's talk about the solution. What can we do to prevent early marriages, to stop girls from getting married at the very, very tender age?
Sure, that's a loaded question. Because I think it comes from both sides, from the parents and from the adult men wanting children to marry. So I think perhaps, this can take so much discussion, if there was some sort of social contribution to families in extreme poverty to prevent that measure, But then also, perhaps if there could be some sort of educational programs for men especially, or not educational,
Maybe like an awareness.
An awareness
In our community, in our society. Yeah.
Perhaps also some uplifting, because well, I wish I could know exactly what goes through the mind of a man who chooses to marry a girl child, you see. That way I would be able to know whether there's some shortcomings in his soul and his spirit, you know, that could be mitigated through upliftment programs, perhaps, or counseling, right?
That also, what do you think that this also, us as the generation right now, okay, we actually have, as the youth, let's talk to the youth, or even us right now, we actually have the power or the capacity to change what we expect or what we anticipate in the next generation. Because like, I think that also one of the causes, like we have said, that is poverty. Poverty comes when maybe one has so many children and cannot afford them. You get the point? So like, in our generation now, we can now decide and choose wisely that really we need to do what we call, they say, child spacing, or even family planning, and you know, you need to plan according to your income, according to your capability. You get the point. So you just don't like really pop out, you know. I think it is wise for us as parents to think wisely when it comes to bringing children into this world. Are we able? This is the question that we really need to, even though that we know that every child that comes out of this world, God is, we cannot say that parents may do take, but sometimes we need to be wise. We need to be wise that am I going to be able to support 9, 15 children that I should need to bring? It's not bad to bring children into this world, but are you able? Do you have that capacity to really support your children until they're really grown up? The Bible says, a wise man leaves inheritance for his children. No, I'm talking about these children and children's children. You get the point?
A good man.
A good and a wise man. So like, if you know that your capacity is not that great to really feed or to serve, or to really
mini village
for, you know, so I mean, help yourself. You just have to know your capacity, and then take it from there. You just don't really, if you're wise, if you're good, you've got to be able to serve for your children's children. If you can't, then why are you really so many children into this world? Yeah. And I know that there always people say in our society, like, okay, God is the one who takes care of our children. That's the answer you get in our society. I mean, we're not like our parents. We're not like our
What do you mean?
Oh, okay. In my family, right? We're 9.
Okay. And then your mother says it's God that takes care of the children, or it's God that...
Oh, okay. No,
makes
not
the
only my
children
mother.
come
I mean,
into
in
that.
our society here, everybody, we know that God takes care of you, but do you have to bring like 100 children so that God can take care of you?
Look, making children and having children is our responsibility.
Yes.
Because God gave us dominion over the earth.
Okay.
So He put in process, He initiated the process of conceiving and giving birth to children, but He doesn't force children into our bellies.
Okay.
You understand? So it is still our choice to, and it's still in our power to control whether we're going to get pregnant or not.
Okay. That's why there's family planning.
And that's why there's family planning.
And so many ways to really
balance it.
help yourself. Wow, it was nice chatting with you guys. We are coming back with more topics of this sensitive issues that many don't talk about them, but they're really affecting us on a daily basis in our society. As we talk right now, this is a Women's Month, so yes, cheers to all women out there. Happy Women's Month, and from me and Thelma, we say bye-bye.
And shalom.